back. We are here today in the Hopewell Furnace National Historic Site. Site we've been to many times, and I never really understood why this furnace area as compared to other places, because there's a lot of furnace areas out there that do not have quite the complex that this place does. And later on in the video, by request and the graciousness of Keystone Curiosity, his name is Casey, he's going to allow us to borrow some of his footage where one of the Park Rangers, I believe it is, Mary Zerby, Z-E-R-B-E, she will explain why this place is here as compared to other places. There's just some things that they found at this site that made it that they absolutely wanted to save this site. So come along with us as we tool around the village and check out what it might have been like back in those days during the Revolutionary War era. And yeah,
stay tuned.
Like I said, I've been here many times, but never did a video here, so thought it might be appropriate to do so.
We got feathers, gang.
And there's zucchini.
There's the cutest sweater I've ever seen.
And lumberjack and law.
Hey, you guys. Lumberjack Jr. here.
That's right. Out there is where the colliery would be, and the colliers would stay out there and work with the wood to form the charcoal that would be the one of the bases of the furnace itself. Off to our right is an anthracite furnace. This is like their last ditch effort to keep this place alive, and it's pretty neat. You can actually walk around this whole thing. I'm sure you're watching, you've seen many videos about this. Yeah. And we'll make our way around.
It's like a maze.
Yeah, it is.
If you think about it.
It's a very neat place. We're fortunate to have this here in Pennsylvania. So the remains of the charcoal kiln. They do demonstrations here on how they make the charcoal for the furnace, and this pile is not indicative of the pile that's normally here. The pile that's normally here is massive, and as can be evidenced by that wood over there. They do demonstrations of this process, and it's pretty neat. You can find those videos online. We obviously won't have one here today, but it is pretty neat to see. And everybody's favorite place when you come to the collier pit is where the collier actually lived. And this is where he ended up living and being while he was tending to the charcoal.
Check it out.
Pretty neat. Hi, little buddy. What you doing, Zookmeister?
Come here, buddy. Your sweater's so cute. Yeah. I can't get over this sweater.
So now we're gonna walk over to the main furnace area and get a look at what we can understand of the process. And couldn't ask for a better day for the middle of winter, because it is, like I said, 35 degrees with blue skies all over. It's an absolutely gorgeous day. It's a beautiful place.
Blue skies everywhere.
My understanding would be that they would bring whatever supplies and materials in through here, maybe even the charcoal, I'm not sure. And these are supposedly wagons that they used during that time.
And these wheels too.
Yeah.
They're massive.
Yep. That's why they had a blacksmith on site, because of all this metal that would be used all over these wagons, notwithstanding the whole entire furnace itself. I feel like there weren't as many wagons a couple of years ago when we came here. And as we walk by, we can notice the race back there, which would take water from the nearby creek and run it through. And when that wheel would move around, it would pump massive bellows in order to pump oxygen or air into the furnace. At that time, this was a modern marble. You know, you see that, I think, TV show, Modern Marvels. That's what this was. And they were all over. Coal blast furnace. That'll give you an idea what goes on. Representative of one of the baskets we saw over there earlier. And right here would be the area. I never noticed this before, because I don't think I ever actually stayed over this. It opens out to the outside. Yeah, I don't think I ever noticed that before. A little window there. Huh. Very neat. I never tire of coming here. This is a really neat place. Off to the side, there's openings, not sure exactly what for. Probably the best time of year is to come now, because there's hardly anybody here. We did have a big group that showed up, but they're hanging out at the picnic tables up there. I'm not sure what's going on there. Like 4 or 5 cars in a row just came piling in. That's the area. I think it's called the Ironmaster's house.
I hope that thing doesn't go off for too long.
Yes, workers can and do draw cash $50 now at election in town on fair day or a battalion. The boss and me are asked and paid cash to him. Next day, I charge his payments in the cash book. Pardon me? Oh, yes, I will do, Mr. Brooker.
Just love the smell of these older places. The old clock. View from the store up to the visitor center. The Ironmaster's house to the right.
Right, I think you're making
We have to look.
List of all the things that were available. In each one of these bins here. Let's go up, and there seems to be a sign up here at the Ironmaster's house. It may or may not be open, but I think we'll at least go up and check out the view from the porch. And it does say building open. Quite a view of the whole entire area. Floor to ceiling windows. Just fascinating. Alright, well, if the building's open, we're going in. I've been in here several times, but maybe you haven't. Maybe you live like across the country somewhere, you know, like National Parks Princess. Maybe you might not ever have the opportunity to get here. It feels very warm in here. I guess that's about how it closes. I think you used to be able to go upstairs. Let's see if I can get this right. Kind of get you information if you wanted to pause it. Turkey. Christmas in the 1830s. There's a map of Montgomery County there. Way back in the day. Gifts of the 1800s. And the tradition of the tree. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Not what time, I'm not sure when this video will find you, but we'll look upstairs. There's the dining area. Desserts, anyone? And why a pineapple? You come here, and you come here like we are when it's a little bit cooler, cold. The house is kept warm, very comfortably warm. Well, one more to see some other things around here. In years past, I remember being able to go in this barn, but right now it looks like it's closed. And the spring house, I guess you would call that, is down there. We'll probably end up visiting that on the way. Typical spring house. In the back end there would be where the kitchen would be. You can see that jutting off the back of the house there. And I think there was, that might have been a servant's entrance there. I'm not sure. Yeah. And there are actually animals that are kept here at Hopewell Furnace. I know earlier I saw some sheep out here. And there they are. See all their stables and where they're kept. They are cute. Probably ruins of a former building, barn, storage area. Farming at Hopewell. Down on a lower level now, we can see how immense this furnace is. I mean, obviously it's nothing like Bethlehem or something like that, but for its time, this was quite the monstrosity. And at times they do demonstrations down in here where they pour out iron or aluminum, I think. I was actually here a couple of years, 10 or 15 years ago, when they were doing a demonstration. At that time, I wasn't filming anything. I didn't think I was on YouTube. I don't think I knew about YouTube at that point. The cast house is what they're calling this. And this would be, they would pour out the pigs. Huge cranes hoist. Off to the side here, obviously we can see some of the utensils used to do the pouring, and the sand molds. And the water wheel would have provided the oxygen. That's a pipe where the oxygen flowed from up there in those bellows in order to provide oxygen down here, right where they needed it. Just a neat place. And to think that none of this would be here, I think my understanding from watching Keystone Curiosity's video and listening to Mary Zerby is there was so much stuff left here, and I think they found it, and I'll insert some part of the video here.
Ranger at Hopewell Furnace National Historic Site.
Mary is one of the molders who takes part in the demonstrations here at the furnace. When I asked her why this furnace was preserved, I was surprised at the answer she gave.
Back when the Civilian Conservation Corps was here, they were told to go through these buildings, that nothing was significant, nothing needed to be kept. And when they got to the village store, they came across journals, and these journals told the story of who was here, what jobs were being had, how much money were people making, all of these things in very significant detail. What we have compared to all of those other furnaces is this complete story. So not only do we have buildings that are original, dating back to the late 1700s, we have that story to tell of who was here. Those journals were the key. They came in and they said, stop what you're doing, save everything, we're going to preserve this. And on August 3rd, 1938, we were designated as the second National Historic.
They found it, I believe, in the blacksmith shop, just all kinds of information and documents and whatever. And at that point, they were actually, I think of raising this place or something to that effect. They weren't doing nothing or anything with it. And because of those documents and the things they found, they felt like they had to keep this place alive. And we are the better for it, because it is just a really neat place to come and see how people worked and lived hundreds of years ago. And this over here, if I remember correctly, was the area where they did a lot of the casting. Okay, so they're going to do some kind of educational dealio, I guess, coming up on this, in order to show how they would cast all this stuff. I remember back in the day, they used to have a bunch of stoves, wood stoves or coal stoves or whatever, sitting around that they actually, I think, might have been made here, or were representative of what was made here. Just a big place. Really neat to see. If you ever have opportunity, just have to spend an hour or two here. It's just really neat. So glad they kept this place. Been here so many times. It's like Joe said, it's part of his childhood memories. We used to come here quite a bit, and he loved seeing that wheel moving around. As you can imagine, many young children would. He was just so curious how that wheel moved. Now, we'll make our way down here, where the blacksmith shop, I believe is. I think it's this one, but I could be wrong. It might be that one over there. I think there's just some tenant houses or whatever over there, and I believe that the park ranger lives in one of these. Hey, I found my people.
And originally, they just had a hard pan for what they call it, I guess.
Wow.
Something like that. There he is. He's back.
I'm back. I believe that this is the building where they actually found all those documents, and that's the reason this place is here. And one of my friends on YouTube, Keystone Curiosity, he said that, I'm sorry, he didn't say, Mary Zerby was the lady he interviewed, and she said that if they hadn't found all the documents, this place wasn't going to be here. That it would have been like every other forge or many of the other forges that just don't exist because they didn't have nothing to show anybody. And apparently all this documentation was found, and if I remember correctly, it was found right in here.
Wow. Yeah. This is the blacksmith too.
Yep.
I love the handle.
Yeah, it's
And Bell was there too. Yeah, I concur. All right, thank you very much for coming along to one of our favorite places to go. Like I said, Joe over here, he's been here several times and is always fascinated when he came here. And we're really glad to come out again as a family. And thanks a lot for coming along. And we'll see you next time on Lumberjack in the Woods.
Peace.